This place was rocking last night. Just a full-fledged party here on Super Bulldog Weekend. Mississippi State's had back-to-back come-from-behind wins on Friday and Saturday. A little bit lighter crowd today. Bright sunshine here on the afternoon. It's getaway day in this three-game series. The State looks for the sweep. LSU looks to salvage a game in this three-game series. Alongside Charlie Winfield, I'm Bart Gregory, and welcome back to the ballpark. And Charlie, last two nights, Mississippi State has used some late magic.
Well, they have. Now, LSU has gotten off to really hot starts, putting up runs in the first, second, third. They've been getting out early. State doesn't want to dig a hole again today.
No, let's look back at the first two games of the series. LSU jumped out the leads in both of these games. And then in the ninth inning, after State had tied the game, LSU comes through with a single. They take the lead at 8-7 in the ninth inning, and in Mississippi State, the RBI single from Ryder Woodson, that tied it with two strikes in the bottom of the ninth, and it set up Kevin Milewski.
And he got a fastball, and he didn't miss it. He drove it out to left field, and the Dogs left happy.
Kevin Milewski with his 8th home run of the year, setting up yesterday's matchup. LSU led 7-3 before that swing. Jacob Parker, the freshman, a grand slam in the 7th, and then Jack Bauer, another freshman, simply outstanding out of the pen.
And the biggest thing that he did, in addition to pitching well, is he ate up innings, gave Dogs longer length out of the pen, and they probably expected when he came in, growing up as a pitcher.
In the ninth inning, LSU with a tying run aboard. Maddox Webb comes in, coaxes the pop-up into foul territory, and the third largest crowd in the history of this ballpark just went crazy last night, and State comes from behind, down 7-2, going into that 7th inning and come back to win it 9-8. Here's the starting lineup for LSU. Boy, Omar Cerna in that 2 spot. That freshman has been hot this weekend.
He absolutely has. You talk about guys seeing the baseball. He has been driving it to left, to right, you name it.
Curiel, Aaron Beatty, Stephen Milam. Yaman hit the big 3-run home run last night. And on the mound for Mississippi State, Bulldogs looking for a quality start. They haven't gotten it this weekend from starting pitching, and Charlie Foster takes the hill.
Well, Foster, 3 of the last 4 times out, has pitched into at least the 5th inning, coming off his best outing where he got into the 8th. Columbia, South Carolina a week ago.
And so LSU will have 4 left-handed hitters in the order against the lefty Charlie Foster. Mason Braun steps in, Tiger first baseman. Underway here on a gorgeous Sunday afternoon at the ballpark. Started Friday's game at 3 o'clock, trying to get it in before the rain came. It rained late in that game on Friday. Had heavy rain later Friday night. There's a ball hit into center field, a little soft liner, going to drop in for a base hit. And LSU has the leadoff man aboard. They got the leadoff man aboard in the first game on Friday, ended up scoring 3 runs. They got Braun on with a walk last night, and they scored 3 runs, and now the leadoff single here on Sunday. Tigers have scored 3 runs in each of the first innings of the first 2 games. And here's Omar Cerna. 6 hits and 10 at-bats on the weekend. He's got a home run in each of the games. And he's hit on the foot. And a tough start for Charlie Foster. A single, now hit batsman. And LSU, just like yesterday, just like on Friday, a little something going here in the first.
Boy, and the crowd here having flashbacks. Just hear the groans as LSU now 2 men aboard, and flipping that order, Curiel batting 3rd today, and now he'll hit with a pair aboard.
Curiel on the weekend is 3 for 11.
Hitting .345 on the season, a guy who can really drive a baseball. 5 home runs, 9 doubles, a couple of triples.
And swings through the fastball. He doubled in the first inning of the Friday game. Leadoff single by Mason Braun. He's at second. Cerna follows with a hit batsman. Going to bunt it, fouled it back, and now the count 0-2. Well, we talk about this weekend, the starters versus the bullpen. It's been the bullpen that's been the strength this weekend for State.
A couple of tough starts for Bulldog pitching, trying to avoid one here. As Charlie Foster's got some trouble with traffic on the bases here in the top of the first.
The 0-2. Swings and misses at the fastball up for strikeout number 1 and out number 1 of the first.
Well, nice job by Foster here. 2-strike count, just elevates, hits the spot Milewski wanted and gets the strikeout.
Well, you talk about the starts for State this weekend. Tomas Valinkas, who has been outstanding this season, went 3 2/3, his shortest outing of the year on Friday. Gave up 7 runs, only 3 earned in the 3 2/3. And then Duke Stone yesterday went 4 2/3. Here's Cade Arambidi, a sophomore catcher. Arambidi had the 2-run home run in the first inning yesterday. He had an RBI double later in the game in the 5th. He went 2 for 5 in yesterday's game. And ran the changeup away, and the count 1-1. Charlie Foster coming off his best outing of his career last week at South Carolina. Good job foul, and now the count 1-2.
In fact, the numbers a week ago don't look as good as the pitching was. Foster went out in the 8th, got touched a little bit, but his line was really good.
Cade Arambidi batting .305 on the season. And lifts that one down the right field line, down by the foul pole, and that ball is gone for a home run. Snuck it just inside the foul pole, and LSU for the 3rd consecutive day has scored 3 runs in the first inning.
This ball was just 95 off the bat, but it goes 350, sneaks just inside the foul pole. I thought that ball might spin foul, but it just stays fair. A good job taking a pitch on the outside part of the plate, got a fastball up, and just keeps it fair, drives it out of the yard, and once again, LSU a 3-run top of the first.
On a 1-2 pitch. And now Stephen Milam will bat. And that's the thing that LSU has done the first 2 days. They've taken big crowds out of the game. Now they've gotten a little raucous late when State begins to come back. And you kind of wondered about the mental makeup of LSU coming into today after now losing 8 consecutive league games. They were 6-6 just a couple of weeks ago. And now 6-14 in the league. And now Charlie Foster falling behind 3-0 to Stephen Milam, turning around and batting from the right side.
Yeah, here's the tough spot for Foster. You give up the 3-run home run, but you've got to go back to work. You've got a team that's shown they can come back, but makes it more and more difficult if you continue to allow base runners.
And the thing that State has been able to do in the first 2 games is get runs back in the bottom half of the first inning with home runs. Beavis on Friday and Ace Reese yesterday, 3-1. And his high ball 4. First walk of the inning. A single hit batsman, a strikeout of Curiel. Then Arambidi hits his 2nd home run of the weekend, and now Milam draws a walk, and Justin Parker, the Bulldog pitching coach, is going to come out of the dugout. Well, it's a warm afternoon at the ballpark. Charlie, one of those games where if you have to throw a number of pitches in a row, you can get hot out there on the mound in a hurry. It's 85 degrees, but it feels like 89. There's Brian O'Connor, first season here in Starkville. Let's push some buttons this weekend and push the right buttons. Last night, Reed Stallman leading off with a double pinch hit roll in the 8th inning. And that ends up being the go-ahead run of the 8th. There's Yaman. Had the 3-run home run opposite field to right field yesterday. Well, jam job out to short, and Drew Wires playing out at short today. Hauls it in for out number 2 of the inning. They just busted him in. Yaman pops it out. Wires came in to play the 9th inning in the field yesterday. Drawing the start out at short today.
So with 2 outs, Jack Ruckert, the second baseman, will come to the plate.
Three runs on 2 hits in the inning. Leadoff single by Mason Braun. He's hit it off the end of the bat out into center field. LSU with an early lead. Marcos Pauls will be the starter today for LSU. He's going to have a lead to pitch with in the first. And high to Jack Ruckert. Ruckert coming into today, making his 6th start of the season. Freshman second baseman. 7 hits and 28 at bats, so 250.
Now we're going to have our first warning out to Charlie Foster to make certain he allows the hitter to make eye contact before he engages.
That ball ripped into right field, but right at Jacob Parker, and that will end the inning. So LSU gets the big 3-run home run from Cade Arambidi. His 13th home run of the season. Snuck it just inside the foul pole, and the Tigers have the early lead. LSU with a 3-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the first inning, and you see the Bulldogs starting lineup. Garrick Fry, Ace Reese, Noah Sullivan, Blake Beavis is 3 for 7 this weekend with a home run. You see Drew Wires in at shortstop, batting in the 6th spot in the order. Then Teal, Maluski, Bryce Chance back down in the 9 hole. And on the mound, we talked about LSU with 4 freshmen in their lineup, in their batting lineup. Going to go with another freshman, Marcos Pauls. Freshman from Carrollton, Texas, going to toe the rubber today for LSU.
Yeah, Pauls for LSU making just his 3rd start, but he has only pitched 5 innings in SEC games this season. ERA at 6.89, and the walks and the hits per inning higher than he would like. The interesting thing about Pauls this season, 10 outings that have gone exactly 1 inning. Went 2 in a couple of others and went an inning and 2/3 back in February in a game. But basically, he's been a 1 or 2 inning guy. Went 2 innings against Texas A&M in a 7-2 loss last weekend. Allowed a hit and a walk, but struck out 3 in those 2 innings. And Mark, one of the things we talked about, LSU scored 3 in the first every game this week. State has answered with a home run in the bottom half in each of those games. Pauls has not allowed a home run this season.
Well, the thing about both of these teams on Friday, Friday's game turned into a bullpen game for both teams. LSU used 7 pitchers, while State used 6 on Friday. Then yesterday, LSU used 6 guys, and State used just 3. Well, 1-0 to Fry, and it hit him. And the thing about LSU, Connor Binge has pitched both days. Ethan Plog has pitched both days. Grant Fontenot has pitched both days.
Well, he just pulled through the fastball here. Or actually, it was a changeup that time. Just pulls through it.
Well, and the thing about Pauls, that changeup is a pitch that he's still trying to develop. That's really the 4th pitch in his repertoire. He's got a fastball, slider, over the top curveball.
And he does not use that changeup much. It is more of a show pitch just to let a hitter know it's there.
Which is kind of surprising that he showed the show pitch on the 2nd pitch that he threw. There's that good hard slider. I'm talking about hard slider.
His slider typically will live in the upper 80s. That one, though, touching 90.
Here's Ace Reese batting .315, 14 home runs.
And there it is again, and that was landed for a strike.
And now 0-2 to Ace Reese. And that's quick work right there. Pauls, after hitting the first batter, and Ace Reese didn't see that slider at all. And here's Noah Sullivan. Sullivan 2 for 5 in the Friday game. He went 2 for 5 in yesterday's game. Had the RBI single that gave State the lead in the 8th inning. Both of his hits came in his last 2 at bats last night. Had a fly out and a couple strikeouts in his first 3 at bats, but a single to left field in the 7th inning, and the RBI single to center field in the 8th. Had a solo home run in the game on Friday. And that was his 8th home run of the season. 2-0. And gets that one in the air, out into left field, back on the track, and making the catch, the center fielder Curiel, as he bangs against the wall. Yaman was giving ground, and Curiel comes out of nowhere to make the catch in left center field for out number 2.
Now got a fastball. Hit it to the wall. Curiel's played a good defensive center field this weekend. Gets over and makes a nice catch there.
Well, they kind of looked at each other there at the last minute, and Curiel went and got it. Here's Blake Beavis. Had a homer in the game on Friday. Runner takes off for second, and sliding in safely is Garrett Fry, as that ball got away from Aaron Beatty behind the plate. So State aggressively taking second base. One-0 to Beavis. And that one knocked down by Aaron Beatty. Davis had a single in yesterday's game in the 4th inning to lead off and later scored in that inning on the double by Aiden Teal. Had a big bases loaded walk in the 7th inning right before Parker hit the grand slam. 2-0. Couldn't check the swing on the slider. And Charlie, that's just a different style of pitch than you've seen at any time this year.
Yeah, it's not that big wipeout slider that we're seeing. It's more that gyro slider, bullet slider.
2-1. Down and away. And now 3-1. So the thing about that pitch, it makes it difficult to catch. And Aaron Beatty had to block up a few here in the 1st. Here's a 3-1. Well, he missed just inside, and that's ball 4. And now Jacob Parker will come to the plate with runners at 1st and 2nd. Hit batsman and a walk in the inning. State has 2 on board without a hit here in the 1st inning. Here comes Nate Yeske out. And last night in the 7th inning, Charlie, this home run, that may have been as loud as I've ever heard this place.
Absolutely incredible environment after Jacob Parker got a hold of that one.
State was down 7-2 going to the bottom of the 7th last night. Beavis drew a bases loaded walk, and then the freshman Jacob Parker hit 5 home runs in his last 18 games. True freshman from Purvis, Mississippi. The big at bat here in the 1st. That home run by Parker last night, a 2-0 slider. Boy, he sat back on it and gave it a ride.
We talked on Friday night how it felt like a Sunday game with all the pitching being used. A bit like that last night, 2 high-scoring games. No telling what we're in for here today.
He starts him off with a fastball that misses inside. Yeah, Friday's game, now went 11 innings, so it skewed a little bit. Went 4 hours and 53 minutes. Last night's game went 3 hours and 41 minutes in a 9-inning affair. 1-0. Wipeout slider down and in, and now the count 2-0. So everybody kind of operating today on a little bit of an emotional roller coaster, and not a big student crowd out there. Coffee, the drink of choice for a lot of people today, just trying to get through this one. 3-0 the count to Jacob Parker. Drew Wires is due up next. And got that one across for the strike.
Fastball in at 96. Now a chance for Parker to look for a ball to drive.
3-1. He chopped it foul off his foot, and now the count's full. So runners will be moving on the 3-2 pitch. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 1st. LSU with a 3-run home run by Cade Arambidi in the top half of the 1st inning with a 3-0 lead. And just missed outside. And now the bases are loaded. A hit batsman and now 2 walks in the inning. And they're going to give a strike to Drew Wires for not being ready.
Like he stepped in and then stepped out.
And now the count 1-1. So he got in, and then he stepped out, yeah. And now they look at the clock. David Savage, veteran umpire, calls strike one. Here's a 1-1. Waves at that slider, now the count 1-2.
And for a guy who hasn't had it at bat since a game against Tennessee back on April 12th, sometimes that extra pitch can be a big difference.
Grounded up the middle, Milam up with it, underhand toss, and LSU gets out of the bottom of the first. So Bulldogs load them up with a couple of walks and a hit batsman, but fail to score, and LSU takes a 3-0 lead to the second. Well, you see Mississippi State's tournament resume right now, 18th in the RPI, 33 in strength of schedule. Against the top 25, 8-10. Quad 1 and 2, 13-10. Bulldogs do not have a loss outside the RPI top 50. And right now, still a long way to go, projected as a 2 seed. But long way to go. 33-10 overall, 12-8 in the SEC entering today, in 4th place by themselves in the league standings. After now 5 consecutive wins. As we've talked about, LSU has scored 3 runs in the first inning of each of the 3 games. There's a fly ball out to the outfield. And back is Teal. A step on a warning track. And out number 1 of the 2nd inning.
Ball just hung up, gave Teal plenty of time to track it down right on the edge of the track.
And now Tanner Reeves will bat, left-handed hitting third baseman.
Not a ton of at-bats on the season for Reeves. This would be just the 39th.
Yeah, he's got 7 hits in those 38 at-bats, 1 double, 6 singles. Making just his 8th start of the season. Waves through that one and the count 0-2. LSU has gone with youth in a lot of his lineup this weekend, 4 freshmen. Reeves is a senior. Just outside. has started the last 2 games over at third base after John Pearson drew the start in the game on Friday. Two. And right there, strike 3 called. And 2 quick outs to the top of the second.
Was looking for something different there.
Locked him up on that 2-2 slider. Here's Mason Braun, who started the first inning with a single into center field. And Jay Johnson's going to ask for an offensive conference. A couple of quick outs in the inning. That's one of those where Mason Braun walks over and Jay's like, well, you know, I really don't have a whole lot to talk to you about. I just want to let Marcos get a little bit of time to get some water and take some time over here in the dugout. All right, now we're ready. A couple of quick outs in the inning. But Jay Johnson down his 5th season down at LSU. They lift it down the left field line, and that will spray foul. That hit in the first inning, Braun's 4th hit of the weekend. He's 4 for 9 this weekend. All the hits have been singles. And sends that one into center field for a solid single.
Ground ball, but it was hit hard. 108 off the bat. And with a 2-out hit, LSU has a base runner here in the top of the second.
They use the middle of the field. And the 3rd LSU hit today. Of course, the big one, the 3-run home run by Cade Arambidi in the top of the first inning. Here's Omar Cerna, who was hit by a pitch his first time up. Took a fastball off the shin. Starts him off with a slider.
Nice pitch. Change up that time. And you better mix it up against this guy because he has been red hot.
He's got 5 home runs on the season, but 2 coming this weekend. Here's the 0-2. Stayed away again. Homered in the 9th inning last night after State had a 2-run lead at 9-7. With a solo shot to right field. Had the power to all fields. Mason Braun over at first. Just 1 for 2 in stolen bases. Chopped it foul over by the Bulldog dugout.
Fry, the second baseman, shading the middle.
And the 1-2. And now the count's even. Check it first, the pitch. Lined and inside the line down the left field line. And Cerna has another extra base hit this weekend. Omar Cerna pulls that one just fair. Braun has to stop at third base, and now LSU with back-to-back hits with 2 outs. Omar Cerna had an RBI double in the game last night in the first inning. And then the home run to right field in the 9th. And now Derek Curiel will bat. He struck out swinging his first time up. Chops it foul.
This becomes a big at bat here early in this ball game. And if you're LSU, hard to think of a guy you'd rather have at the plate than Curiel. Couple in scoring position with 2 down.
Team's leading batter came into today batting .345, the 1-1. Fouls it off left side. The count 1-2. Curiel 3 for 12 on the weekend. Fouled it back. Couple of 2-out hits in the second. After Patrick flew out, Reeves struck out. Mason Braun singles to center field. Omar Cerna doubles down the left field line. 1-2. Fouled it back again. Try to slip the fastball by him. Charlie Foster at 40 pitches. Here's a 1-2. Lined right at the second baseman, Garrick Fry. Snow coned it out there. Curiel hits it on the line, but out. And LSU strands a pair in the top of the second. The Tigers with a 3. You see LSU's had its difficulties late in games. They jumped out early today, have a 3-0 lead, but State has had to come from behind the last 2 days. You see, led 8-7 on Friday. Actually, LSU led 7-3 in that game. State came back and tied it. And then LSU took another lead, 8-7 into the 9th. And then yesterday, Bulldogs put together the 5-run 7th inning to tie the game at 7th and win it with a couple of runs in the 8th. Here's Aiden Teal to be bottom 3 in the order for Mississippi State, bottom of the second inning. Bulldogs loaded the bases without a hit in the first. A hit batsman, a couple walks, but stranded the bases loaded. Aiden Teal 1 for 6 on the weekend. Had a double in last night's game. Drove in a run. Just narrowly missed a home run to right field. Hit about a foot from the top of the wall. And that drove in a run in the fourth to make it a 3-2 game at the time. Then LSU had the 3 spot in the 5th inning last night on the 3-run home run by Edward Yaman. That was yesterday. 2-1. Charlie, this weekend, that's the thing about LSU. They've had the big swings. Big home runs yesterday. Yaman and Arambidi. The big home run today from Cade Arambidi. In there for a strike and a count 3-2.
LSU has had constant movement down in the bullpen.
And a leadoff walk in the second. Kevin Milewski going to step in. He had some drama in the game on Friday. Bottom of the 11th inning. And just kills one to left. And that was his 8th home run of the season. Milewski batting just 192 on the year. But his stats are a little bit of an anomaly. 14 hits, and out of the 14 hits, he has 8 home runs, 2 doubles, and 2 singles. Feast or famine. And it was a feast on Friday.
Not many guys you see with twice as many home runs as singles.
And now 2-0 the count. Marcos Paws walked the first guy, now 2-0. And in the air, out into right field. Got it off the end of the bat. William Patrick there for out number 1 of the second.
Well, just a fly ball to right field, as you said, off the end of the bat. Didn't get a lot on it.
And now Bryce Chance will come to the plate. Senior from Ridgeland, Mississippi, 9-hole hitter. Batting .353 on the year. In there for a strike.
Here lately, Chance has been susceptible to the high fastball. He's popped a number of those up.
Yeah, you bring up the point there about popping the ball up. State put the ball in the air a lot on Friday. Had 15 flyouts, 9 groundouts. And then in yesterday's game had 7 flyouts and 3 groundouts. Of course, LSU pitching had 13 strikeouts in the game last night. 1-1. Swings through it to count 1-2. It's been some routine fly balls this weekend off the state bats. You see one just right there with Milewski with that fly ball to right. Just missed. Now 2-2 to Bryce Chance.
Chance able to lay off the slider that time.
2-2. And now the count's full. 3 walks from Paul so far to hit batsman, but it hasn't hurt him yet.
Well, Teal worked a walk on a full count pitch. 2 hitters later, Chance with a full count.
Runner goes. And tap foul. The Bulldogs start the runner on the 3-2 pitch with 1 out. And it's kind of expected, to be honest with you. I mean, Bryce Chance, a guy at the plate who doesn't swing and miss a whole lot. Only 12 strikeouts on the season. They started him again and fouled off again. Time to try to get the fastball by at 96. Gone again. Ground ball, left side, backhand play Milam, and he keeps it on the infield. And that will be the first Mississippi State hit today. It's an infield single from Bryce Chance. And 2 aboard and 1 out. The Bulldogs go back to the top of the order.
Well, Chance putting it in play and something good happening. And so now 2 aboard as things turn over to the top of the order. Garrick Fry comes to the plate. Some right-handers working down in the bullpen, but no sign of movement out of the dugout yet.
Fry was hit by a pitch his first time up and was left stranded at third base to end the first inning. So 1-0, got the slider, and he pulls it foul. Garrick Fry, Alpharetta, Georgia native, started his career at North Alabama. Connoisseur of country music. Here's a 1-1. That looks at strike 2.
Yeah, we got the fastball that time and just looked at it.
And he misses inside, a count 2-2. And now 3-2.
Third full count of the inning.
Hey now, out to right on the track. That one's going to stay in the yard and hauled in by Patrick. Well, off the bat, that thing jumped. And Aiden Teal evidently thought it was going to get over the head as well because he was unable to tag.
Ball was hit well, but only makes it to the track. And that is going to get a visit to the mound.
Nate Geske going to go out and have a word with runners at first and second, and Ace Reese coming to the plate. Marcos Pauls now at 42 pitches. Jaden Newton down there just kind of loosening up a little bit. Not with the ball yet. You see the right-hander. You see Dothie down there. Dax Dothie. Actually has a ball in hand.
So runners still at first and second for Reese. As you mentioned, Teal had gotten off the bag at second, could not get back in time to tag and make it to third, as he thought that ball was headed to the wall.
Yeah, Reese struck out swinging, did not see the slider well at all in that first at bat. Carved up on 3 pitches.
Now the thing for Teal, if the ball gets over the head, you've still got plenty of time to score. If you're back towards second.
Oh, a strike call to the inside corner. And now 1-1.
So Reese, who's seen a lot of sliders from Paul, has got the fastball.
He got the slider that time and fouled it back. And now 1-2. We talked about Maluski a little bit ago, but it's been feast or famine for Ace Reese in league play as well. He's got 19 hits in SEC play. 13 have been extra base hits, 5 doubles, but 8 of his 19 hits have been home runs. And down the left field side, and that will get out of play. Down on the burn. Not as packed in there today as they were last night. Every patch of real estate down the right field line, the left field lines were jam-packed yesterday.
Concourse was packed, everything.
They were 8 deep down the left field line. 2-2. And now the count's full. And another full count offering this inning from Marco Pauls.
State stranded 3 in the bottom of the first, trying to avoid stranding base runners here in the bottom of the second. Pauls trying to work out of it.
Into right field, hit deep, and that ball is going to tie it. Ace Reese with his 15th home run of the season. And the Bulldogs tie it at 3.
100 off the bat, it goes 389 out to right. And in an inning full of 3-2 counts, Reese with the biggest payoff.
Yeah, he was looking for slider and he got it. A leadoff walk in the inning, an infield single, and now the 3-run home run, and both teams have a 3-run home run today. And now Noah Sullivan will bat. And that's the thing that Teal can do. Now 20 hits in SEC play and 9 home runs. Jay Johnson without a starter this weekend. Case in Heavens, a late scratch on Friday. Here's a 1-1. So went with Guidry in the game on Friday, Gavin Guidry. Who went just 2 2/3. Then William Smith yesterday went 4 innings. 1-2. There's strike 3 call. So pause gets Noah Sullivan looking. But Mississippi State does the damage in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Ace Reese yanks one out to right. And we're tied at 3 after 2. Cade Arambidi, first time up. A couple of men aboard down the right field line. Stuck it just inside the foul pole. And that gave LSU a 3-0 lead in the top of the 1st inning. So Cade Arambidi going to lead things off here in the 3rd inning. Past 12 games, hitting .395 with 8 home runs, 14 RBIs. He's got a new pitcher he's going to face here in the 3rd inning. Bulldogs to the bullpen early, and Chris Billingsley will come in and pitch, the junior from Brent, Alabama.
Yeah, Billingsley on the season has a record of 1-0. He's thrown 19 1/3. The ERA around 3 1/4. And for Billingsley, that represents a significant amount of progress since early in the season. Was touched up a little bit early, but since starting a game in the midweek against Southern Miss about a month ago, has really become more of a factor in this Bulldogs bullpen.
4, 5, and 6 due up for LSU here in the 3rd. Arambidi, then Stephen Milam, and Edward Yaman.
Now Billingsley hurt himself early in the season with walks. Did not want to give Arambidi anything too good to hit. He's missed with a couple of pitches.
In there for a strike. Yeah, he had the 3 walks against Arkansas in his SEC debut. He had 3 walks against Hofstra in the first game he pitched. He's pulled through that slider 3 times in this at bat, and now 3 and 1. And high and outside, and a leadoff walk in the 3rd.
Well, had trouble locating with the slider, and that time misses with the fastball, and it's a leadoff man aboard, as you say. Second time in 3 innings that LSU's gotten the leadoff man aboard.
And Stephen Milam, he walked his first time up back in the first inning.
And now Billingsley is missed on 5 out of 6.
And ripped down the right field line, got a chance, and that ball is gone. A line drive home run from Stephen Milam, and LSU takes a lead right back on Milam's 7th home run of the season.
Milam just sends a line shot out of here. 108 off the bat. It goes 348. Finds the plaza down the right field line.
And Charlie, we talk about it. Not all fastballs are created equal. And that was a fastball that Milam's just sitting on in the hitter's count. A situation where 5 out of 6 pitches had been balls, and he grooved one.
Milam knew Billingsley wanted to throw a strike there, was anticipating the fastball, got it, and hit it.
And now the count even. Yaman popped out to the shortstop back in the first inning. And now 1-2. So State ties the game at the bottom of the second inning with a 3-run home run from Ace Reese, but LSU wrestles the lead right back. A leadoff walk followed by a 2-run home run by Stephen Milam. And the thing about Billingsley so far, he's had some big misses. That one caught the home plate umpire David Savage.
Fans saying throw strikes. David Savage might have delivered that message himself.
Swing and a miss.
Oh, good slider that time. Gets the chase. And 1 down. So Ruckert will come to the plate. He lined out to right field back in the first inning.
Jack Ruckert hit a ball on the line his first time up. That fly out to left field, this time out to left. And it sends Bryce Chance all the way back to the wall for the second out of the inning.
Not a lot of wind here today at all. To the extent there is any, maybe a soft push out to left. That ball carried a little bit better than I thought it would.
Yeah, off the bat, looked like just a routine fly ball, but just a couple steps shy of the wall. And now William Patrick will bat. He had a fly out to center field back in the second. Billingsley trying to work through the third. A walk and a home run. LSU back on top 5-3.
And still struggling to keep it in the strike zone.
Here's strike one. off the handle and out to the first baseman, Beavis. And that will end the inning. But LSU takes the lead back. Stephen Milam with a rocket shot to right. His 7th home run of the season gives LSU a 5-3 lead.
Conference tournament, all of college baseball.
Run straight for the breakaway.
Let's get to Hoover.
Well, only 3 weeks left in the regular season here in 2026. We get ready for the stretch run of the SEC. Mississippi State at 12-8 in the league. LSU's got a lot of making up to do here late in the season. Just 6-14 in SEC play. Marcos Paz will head back to the hill, bottom of the 3rd. Got a lead to work with again. Oh, and in there for a strike to Blake Beavis, who walked his first time up.
Beavis hitting .435. He's been slugging at .848. Inserted into the lineup a weekend ago, and he has been really good since.
Rode the fastball in on the hands. And catcher's interference is going to be called. Here comes Jay Johnson out. And I think they're going to take a look at it. So Jason Bradley.
LSU is challenging the catcher's interference. This play is under review.
So catcher's interference is called to put Beavis at first base to start the 3rd inning, and we're going to take a look at it. By the reaction of Aaron Beatty, the catcher, a lot of times when you see a catcher snatch his hand back, sometimes we'll give it away.
You see the pullback right here.
So you look at the first 2 days, the challenges have not been well used by either team. And both teams have used them early. So they've had to operate late in games without challenges. LSU on Friday and then Mississippi State yesterday. Jason Bradley, our crew chief, has the verdict.
After review, there is catcher's interference. LSU has 1 challenge remaining.
So catcher's interference is upheld. And that will go in the book as an LSU error. To charge an error to the catcher.
You see all the time guys running into a bag, trying to make a tag, asking for the review. That's one you would have thought the catcher, Aaron Beatty, would have had a pretty good handle on to talk to the dugout about.
Here's Jacob Parker. Takes a breaking ball down. And that's the thing is challenges are very sacred. And hey, it happens to all catchers. If you've ever caught baseball, you sooner or later are going to get a catcher's interference against you. You're trying to help your pitcher, try to frame up for the umpire, and get it out in front of you as far as possible. Ground ball right side. To second for one, to throw to first, and it is in time for the double play. 4-6-3 for the first 2 outs of the third.
Well, it ends up being a challenge without a consequences. LSU quickly turns the double play. A nice feed, Milam with the turn. The dig out at first by Braun.
And so now 2 outs and nobody on for Drew Wires, who hit a ground ball to the shortstop his first time up. Wires in the lineup today, out at short, batting in the 6th hole. LSU has all 5 of its runs on 2 home runs. A 3-run home run by Cade Arambidi in the first inning. A 2-run home run by Stephen Milam at the top of this, the third. State got a 3-run home run from Ace Reese in the bottom of the 2nd inning to tie the game at 3 before that Milam home run.
Both those home runs coming in about the same place. Both those LSU home runs, that is.
Just down the right field line and just low to Wires, and now the count 3-1. Yeah, Drew Wires batting .348 on the season, 16 hits and 46 at bats. He's made some starts out at second base. Today starting at short. A couple of home runs on the season. Here's a 3-1. He rolls over it out to the shortstop. Milam gobbles it up, throws it across. He's only got 1 error this season, and he's played superbly this weekend. State down quickly in the bottom of the third, 5-3 LSU after 3. Well, you see the standings in the SEC coming into today. Georgia at 14-6. They're playing in Oxford this weekend where they've split the first 2. You see State there at 4th in the league, a half game behind Texas. And then you got 4 teams at 11-9, a game back of Mississippi State, Florida, Ole Miss, Auburn, Oklahoma. And Bulldogs going to go with their 3rd pitcher of the day as we move to the top of the 4th inning as Jack Gleason will come into pitch.
Gleason went an inning and 2/3, back in the midweek against Memphis. Had 4 strikeouts in that appearance. 18th time he'll be called to the mound this season.
And he will face 9-1-2 for LSU in the 4th. But talking about the league, we've had so many sweeps this season.
Just unbelievable.
And only 2 teams going for sweeps today. Mississippi State here against LSU, and then South Carolina hosting Kentucky this weekend. Those are the only 2 teams looking for sweeps.
And we still have that rain out between Texas and A&M that messes up the standings.
Yeah, it screws it up for everybody. Texas and Vandy playing a rubber game of that 3-game series in Nashville today. A&M and Florida playing the rubber game of that 3-game series down in Gainesville. Two and 0 the count to Tanner Reeves. Jack Gleason throws it down and in, and that's ball 3. LSU's got the leadoff man on in 2 of the 3 at bats, and both those guys have scored. The guy yells, throw him a strike, and Jack Gleason's going to say, you know what, I haven't been really trying. I'm going to see if I can do it just because that guy said so. And you know what, he did.
He is receptive to coaching. He's coachable.
Just because that guy up there yelled throw a strike, that was the ticket. Here's a 3-1. And lifted in the air off to the third base side, and that will get out of play. Tanner Reeves struck out looking his first time up against Charlie Foster. Gleason comes back to get to 3-2. Try to pour the fastball by him again and foul back. Mason Braun due up next. He's got a couple of singles today, and then Omar Cerna, who has been the kryptonite for Mississippi State pitching this weekend, the 3rd guy due up this inning. And downstairs, and that's ball 4 and a leadoff walk in the 4th. A&M has an early lead down in Gainesville, trying to take 2 out of 3 against Florida. Ole Miss and Georgia, game 3 of that 3-game series. They split a doubleheader yesterday in Oxford. Auburn and Oklahoma playing game 3 today. That series tied 1-1 down on the Plains. How about South Carolina winning the first 2 from Kentucky this weekend? Going for the sweep today. They're just underway over in Columbia.
That walk to Reeves was the 3rd walk issued by Bulldog pitching today.
Here's Mason Braun, a couple of singles to center field. And pulls it foul, and the count 0-2. Hit a ball off the end of the bat his first time up and just dropped one out into center field in front of the Bulldog outfielder Aiden Teal. And back in the 2nd inning with 2 outs and nobody on, hit a ground ball right back through the middle. Leadoff man on the 0-2. And strike 3 is called at the belt on the inside corner. Mason Braun didn't think so, but Jack Gleason, after the leadoff walk, comes back to get the strikeout.
It's going to be a Sunday kind of zone today, it appears, all the way around.
Here's Omar Cerna. Double down the left field line his last time up. He was hit by a pitch in the 1st.
And he has had a weekend he'll remember.
He's got 7 hits on the weekend, 7 hits and 11 at bats. 2-2. Jack Gleason, redshirted last year. Redshirt freshman from Germantown, Tennessee. Pitched up at Briarcrest Christian. Here's a 1-2. Trying to spin the slider down again, and now the count 2-2. Yeah, Mississippi State guy, Mississippi State family. Gleason making his 18th appearance of the season. Here's a 2-2. Fouled out of play. Throw to first and it gets away, but not far enough that Tanner Reeves can go any further. There's not a whole lot of area where that ball went. Now, if it gets down the right field line, it gets down to the LSU bullpen, he could run for a while.
It all depends on the angle.
2-2. Swings over the top of the slider. Cerna strikes out for the second out of the inning.
Bart going back to that. You can see the pitch here. The bottom falls out. Going back to that ball that got away from first. If your third baseman overshoots the first baseman, guys can run for a while. If it comes from the middle infield, not much of a chance to take second base many times because of where that wall is located.
Here's Curiel with a runner at first. Fouled it back. Derek today struck out in the first inning. He lined out to the second baseman with runners at second and third and 2 outs back in the second. 3-run top of the first for LSU on a 3-run home run by Cade Arambidi. State tied it with a 3-run home run from Ace Reese in the bottom of the second. Stephen Milam, a 2-run home run for the Tigers in the top of the third. That's where we are. 5-3 here on the Sunday afternoon in Starkville. After State won 10-8 on Friday in 11 innings. And then yesterday, 9-8. And strike 3 called on the outside corner. And Jack Gleason, after walking the leadoff man, strikes out the top 3 LSU guys in their lineup. 5-3 LSU, middle of the fourth.
ESPN app has all of ESPN all in one place. Visit activate.espn.com to see if you have ESPN Unlimited as part of your TV package for no additional cost. It's all of ESPN all in one place. Sign up or activate now.
Well, the ESPN app is a great place to watch a lot of these games on the SEC Plus. Santiago Garcia, his second appearance of the weekend. Charlie, he was good on Friday.
Yes, he was. Came in the ball game, really controlled Mississippi State for quite a while. 18th time across the mound this season. ERA at 4.5.
They threw 44 pitches 2 days ago on Friday. 44 pitches, 29 strikes. Yeah, left on left situation right here with Aiden Teal going to lead off. Aiden Teal walked and scored back in the second inning. Had a leadoff walk. Of course, Ace Reese had the 2-out, 3-run home run. Rolls that one down the first base line and foul. State will have one midweek game this week down in Pearl against Ole Miss. Governor's Cup, 6 o'clock on Tuesday night.
Each of those teams playing a couple of long games this weekend. Not sure who'll be pitching for either.
Here's a 1-1. And it hit him. Try the breaking ball up and in. And it hits that front elbow guard of Aiden Teal. Leadoff man aboard in the fourth. And Kevin Maluski will now bat. Maluski got a 2-0 pitch back in the second inning. Hit a ball off the end of the bat and a fly out to right field. Well, worked it away.
Wave through that one. LSU deep around the outfield. No surprise for Maluski.
Strike two. Maluski walked it off on Friday with a 2-run home run to left field, bottom of the 11th inning. Fouled it straight back. That home run came with 2 outs in the inning. Off of Zach Coward.
Was hunting fastball and got one. Wasn't expecting to see one here.
Yeah, State and Ole Miss, Trustmark Park on Tuesday night down in Pearl. State's a home team. LSU back at home on Tuesday against Southeastern Louisiana before hosting South Carolina next weekend. Talked about the stretch run. State's got at Texas, then home against Auburn, then on the road at A&M. Final 3 SEC weekends of the year. 1-2. And lifted in the air. Out into right field. Second baseman going over and didn't see it, and it's a foul ball. Well, State catches a break because the second baseman and Ruckert didn't see it. LSU catches a break because that ball landed about a step in foul territory.
You see, Ruckert just never saw it here on the mostly cloudy day.
Just lost it. One, two. Fouled it back. LSU's got Carolina at home next weekend, then at Georgia, and then Florida at home. So 2 of the last 3 series for LSU down in the box. Here's a 1-2 again. That's a changeup, and Maluski way out in front, and a strikeout for Santiago Garcia.
Yeah, nice pitch by Garcia here. Keeps it away from Maluski. Seguel will get Bryce Chance to the plate. He singled and scored back in second. Had an infield hit to the left side. State has just 2 hits on the game through first 3+ innings. One being that hit by Chance, the other the Ace Reese home run.
Trying to push a bunt. Fouled it back. They got the first baseman holding the runner over there. Bryce trying to push one up the right side. He got the left-handed pitcher and Garcia falling off to the third base side. Knocked down by Aaron Beatty. Oh, my. Well, Santiago Garcia, this one just sometimes just slips out of your hand, especially with that change-up grip. Now runner at second on the wild pitch. Comes right back. And now the count 2-2. Bull Durham, that one almost hit the bull. Two. And just high, now the count's full. Derek Friday on deck circle, Bulldog leadoff man. Spoil the pitch, and we'll do it again. There's Derek Fry. Hit a ball to deep right field his last time up. He was hit by a pitch in the first. Try to slip the fastball by him at 93. Bryce Chance is grinding out in at bat. Frustrated guy to pitch to. Line to the left center field. Oh my! It died when it got to Milam. That ball off the bat, scalded by Chance, and Milam took a step back, hauls in the line drive, and the second out of the inning.
Fastball sounded like it was hit hard. It got a lot more sound than it did velo, and Milam able to make the catch.
Well, it just died when it got out there. And now Garrick Fry turns around and bats from the right side. Garcia with all speed pitch has stayed off balance here. And now 0-2. Bottom of the fourth inning. 5-3 LSU lead. Swing and a miss. And Santiago Garcia strikes out a pair, works around the leadoff runner, and we move to the fifth. LSU leading Mississippi State 5-3.
Well, we head to the top of the fifth. It's a 5-3 ball game. LSU jumped out to a 3-0 lead, saw State come back and tie it up, and then used a 2-run home run from the shortstop Stephen Milam to take the lead again. 4 innings in the books. We head to the top of the fifth, and Jack Gleason heads back to the mound for the Bulldogs. Gleason, who issued a walk when he came in back in the 4th inning, ended up striking out the side. Retired 1, 2, and 3 in the LSU order with strikeouts after walking Reeves. That'll be the heart of the order here in the top of the 5th. 4, 5, and 6. Aaron Beatty will get things started. A home run and a walk. He scored a couple of runs so far.
He starts him off with a fastball high and tight. The next 2 guys up providing the runs today for LSU. Aaron Beatty with a 3-run home run in the first. Stephen Milam, who's on deck, had a 2-run home run to right field in the 3rd. It's been the top of the order today for LSU. Mason Braun's got a couple of hits. Cerna's got a double. And then the home runs from Aaron Beatty and Stephen Milam. To the left side, Ace Reese moving to his left and tosses over for out number 1. Only the 2nd ground out today for LSU. Patrick grounded out to the first baseman to end the 2nd inning. This time Aaron Beatty tests out the left side of the Bulldog infield for the first time today.
First out recorded by Gleason. That wasn't by strikeout.
And here's Milam who lined the home run just down the right field line his last time up. He walked in the first. Pops out one foul and out of play. Yeah, place is kind of filled in a little bit. Sunday in Starkville after massive crowds on Friday, and then yesterday was just insane. Not as many people in the outfield today, the 0-1. We'll try to check the swing. And he fouls it off, and now the count 0-2. Well, State averaging 11.5, and of course LSU just north of 11. Two of the best fan bases in college baseball, the 0-2. You know, attendance figures are so out of whack now because everybody uses paid attendance. But these are two programs that
People who pay tend to be there.
yeah, actually show up and have the big crowds. Here's a 1-2. It ripped down the right field side and down by the LSU bullpen. State's got the shift on. Spins it up there, now the count 2-2.
Milam doesn't strike out a ton. He walks more than he strikes out.
And lifts that ball in the air out into center field. And ranging back is Aiden Teal for out number 2.
Gleason trying to have the quick inning.
Here's Yaman, struck out swinging his last time up. 0 for 2 today with a pop out to short.
Trying to retire the Tigers in order for the first time today for Bulldog pitching.
Well, Yaman took the wind out of this place yesterday in the top of the 5th inning with that 3-run home run to give LSU a 7-2 lead at the time. And then State came back a 5-run bottom of the 7th last night, highlighted by a grand slam from Jacob Parker. And then the Bulldogs had a couple of runs in the bottom of the 8th. LSU scored a run at the 9th on the Cerna home run. State won it 9-8. 2-0. And just below the knees, and now they count 3-0. Got a left-handed hitter, Ruckert, on deck.
Gets 3-0 across. There's Ruckert.
Lifted foul, and that will go out of play, and now the count's full. Oh, a warm day here at the ballpark. Temperatures in the high 80s. The pitch. Into left field. Here comes Chance, and he's there to make the catch. And Jack Gleason retires a side in order in the 5th. He's retired 6 in a row. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning, 5-3 LSU. Well, the NCAA tournament projections, the probable hosts right now. Of course, you got about a month left in the season. Auburn, Georgia, A&M, Texas. Locks to be in the NCAA tournament as of this moment. Stayed a part of that group with Ole Miss, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Kentucky, and Arkansas. And teams that need a little help right now in the stretch run, Vanderbilt and LSU. Vandy playing Texas this weekend. See the last 5 College World Series champions. State, Ole Miss, and LSU's won 2 of the last 3. All coming from the SEC. Of course, no champion in 2020, the COVID year. Vanderbilt won it in 2019. But that's the thing about having 3 weekends left. You can play yourself in, you can play yourself out. I think State's going to be in, unless just barring an epic meltdown, but the Bulldogs trying to play themselves into a host site. And Ace Reese going to lead off. Ace Reese, Noah Sullivan, Blake Beavis against Santiago Garcia.
Took something off there.
And bounces up there. Now the count 2-1. Reese struck out swinging his first time up, had the home run to right field his last time up. That tied the game at 3 at the time. LSU took the lead right back in the top of the 3rd inning. Missed just inside. After Ace hit the home run, Bulldogs got a leadoff man on to the 3rd inning with catcher's interference, but a double play ball. Then a leadoff man on in the 4th inning, and then Garcia got the next 3 guys out with a couple strikeouts, 3-1. Way outside, and that's ball 4, and a leadoff walk in the 5th inning. Well, you start talking about the longest active NCAA regional streaks. LSU a part of those teams. LSU and Vandy got to do some work here at the end of the year. Florida 17 years in a row. LSU 13 years in a row. You see the RPIs right now. LSU at 65, Vanderbilt at 76.
See Southern Miss on there. Basically a lock at this point. Keep their streak alive.
Here's Noah Sullivan. Toss over to first. And rips that ball down the left field line, a fair ball. Ace Reese on his way to 3rd as the left fielder Yaman falls down. Ace Reese will score all the way from first base, and Noah Sullivan into 2nd. Yaman had his feet come out from under him on that ball down the left field line.
Ball hit hard down the line, and it hits the wall. Yaman was expecting it to get down in the corner, and it kicks, and you see he tries to react, just loses his footing. By the time he can get back to the baseball, Ace Reese has rounded 3rd and has tightened this thing up at 5-4 with a runner in scoring position and nobody out for the Dogs.
And now Jay Johnson's out of the dugout. And that's a tricky left field you got to play with that corner, and in right field as well, because the jet's out right there close to the line. And as a fielder, sometimes you'll see that ball hug the wall and go all the way down. So you can't commit to it coming off the wall, but that time Yaman, fooled by it, and had his feet slip out from under him. It'll be an RBI double for Noah Sullivan, and LSU will go to the bullpen. Dax Dothie comes in. It's a 5-4 game. Dax Dothie comes in, the senior from Round Rock. And he will inherit a runner at second and nobody out. State with a tying run in scoring position here in the bottom of the fifth.
LSU, the third stop along the journey for Dax Dothie. He started his career at Texas Tech back in 23, pitched in 5 games there, before spending a couple of years at Angelo State and then making his way to LSU. This will be the first time this season that he has been called upon in SEC play. Last pitched against Bethune-Cookman back on April 7th.
Well, you mentioned that Bethune-Cookman game. That was kind of the game that has broken the Tigers. They lost that Tuesday night game down at home against Bethune-Cookman 10-7, then swept the following weekend at Ole Miss and swept last weekend at home against Texas A&M. And Blake Beavis will be the batter. Single by Reese, a double by Noah Sullivan. He starts him off with a slider. Beavis has been on twice today. Walked to the first inning, reached on catcher's interference to lead off the third. Excuse me, swing right side. That'll move the runner over to third. That's essentially a check swing bunt by Blake Beavis. Boy, LSU has blown some leads in SEC play. Second highest blown lead rate in the league.
Now Parker a chance to tie it up with a ball to the middle infield or a ball in the outfield.
And he's going to drive home with a run with a ground ball to the right side. So Jacob Parker rolls one out to Ruckert, but coming in to score is Noah Sullivan. So State, and the ability by Beavis, who didn't mean to get the runner to third with just one out, and State ties the game at 5 here in the bottom of the fifth.
You see the importance there of getting the runner over to third base, less than 2 outs, because all it takes is a ball in play to the second baseman to tie the game.
And now 2 outs and nobody on.
And the cadence for the weekend just continues. LSU getting leads. State coming back, able to tie it up.
That slider drops in there. Gets a fastball by.
And that's really the pitch that's been the most hittable. The breaking pitch for Dothie this year has been pretty good. The fastball is what can get turned around.
They missed inside. LSU, after that loss last night, is now 0-6 in one-run games this year. And now it's full. 3-2 to Drew Wires, way outside. And a 2-out walk. And that will get Aiden Teal to the plate.
Teal's been aboard twice without an official at bat. He walked and scored in the second, was hit by a pitch in the fourth.
And right at the second baseman. Out to Ruckert, and that will end the inning. So Doughty comes in and gets a couple of ground outs, actually 3 ground outs in the inning. Bulldogs with a couple, though. We're tied at 5 after 5. Well, looking back at this one, LSU jumped on top 3-0 on this big swing from Cade Arambidi, a 3-run home run to tie it at 3. And then Mississippi State answered their own 3-run home run. Ace Reese in the bottom of the second inning, his 14th home run of the season. And then in the third inning, LSU right back. 2-run shot from Stephen Milam. The Bulldogs in the bottom of the 5th inning. Big double from Noah Sullivan. Left fielder Edward Yaman slipping down. Ace Reese scores from first, and then with a runner at third, Jacob Parker with a ground out. Drives in Noah Sullivan. We're tied at 5 as we go to the 6th. And Jack Gleason back out. LSU 5 runs on 5 hits. State 5 runs, 3 hits. All the runs for LSU coming on 2 home runs. And quickly 2-0. Bottom 3 in the order: Ruckert, William Patrick, and then Tanner Reeves. 7, 8, 9 in the order. And high ball 3. There's a strike. And there's ball 4 and a leadoff walk to start the 6th inning. Gleason came in and walked the leadoff man in the 4th, but since then has retired 6 in a row. 3 strikeouts in a row in the 4th inning. Got a ground out and a couple flyouts in the 5th inning. And now he walks Jack Ruckert to start the 6th.
leadoff man aboard for the 4th time in 6 turns for LSU.
William Patrick 0 for 2 today, a fly out and a ground out. He squared the bunt, took the bat back, takes a pitch for a strike. Pops that one up and out of play. And now 0-2 the count to William Patrick. And strike 3 called on the inside corner. He locks up Patrick on the 0-2 pitch. And the first out of the 6th and the 4th strikeout for Jack Gleason.
Nice pitch inside part of the plate. And we're going to have a visit to the mound, and this is going to be Brian O'Connor. We're going to see a pitching change.
So Jack Gleason with his 4th strikeout, his 3rd looking today. And you've got a left-handed hitter in Tanner Reeves up next. Actually, 3 of the next 4 guys going to bat from the left side, and so there's Dane Burns down there, and you kind of wondered if State had a left-hander up in Lewiston. And a move to the pin. And good work today from Jack Gleason. And Dane Burns will come in left on left. The runner aboard and 1 out here at the top of the 6th. Well, Dane Burns will come out of the pen, and he will inherit a runner at first and 1 out. Tie game in the top of the 6th.
You see Burns' 21st appearance on the season. ERA column very good. It's that strikeout to walk ratio that is perhaps the most impressive. Burns has been very effective against left-handed hitting this season.
Well, Dane pitched the game back on Friday. Pitched the final inning. He struck out 2. He walked 1 in that 11th inning. State was good out of the bullpen on Friday. Good out of the pen yesterday. Jack Bauer and then Maddox Webb. Burns threw 17 pitches in the game on Friday, after throwing an inning and a third in the midweek against Memphis back on Tuesday. Here's Tanner Reeves.
Had something get loose down in the right field corner, so a brief pause as Jacob Parker has thrown a ball back in the stands, now made his way back to his spot.
And the pitch. Just way inside and back to the screen, and that'll be a wild pitch uncorked by Dane Burns on his first pitch.
Well, that's an inauspicious beginning for Burns.
Lost it arm side. Leadoff walk to Ruckert here in the 6th inning. The strikeout to Patrick. And now Burns on out of the bullpen. 4th Bulldog pitcher today. There's a strike. Starter today was Charlie Foster. He lasted just 2 innings, gave up 3 runs, all earned on 4 hits. Chris Billingsley pitched an inning, gave up 2 runs on 1 hit, the home run to Miley. Foul ball back. Gleason 2 1/3 of work. The runner at second, his responsibility. Right now, no runs on no hits. He had 4 strikeouts and 2 walks. And Jack today, 43 pitches and 26 strikes. Two. Oh, man.
Wow.
Buckled the knees with that slider. That was a little filthy there. Take a look. And locked up Reeves that time for out number 2.
Yeah, Reeves sees that ball coming at his shoulder and then sees it land right in the mid of Maluski.
And now Mason Braun will bat. He's 2 for 3 today, a couple of singles. He struck out his last time up against Gleason. Go ahead run in scoring position with 2 outs. A leadoff walk and a wild pitch. Well, if you're Burns right here, you definitely want to get Braun and not face Cerna with guys on base. And that ball hit well into right field. Back on the warning track, and that's off the wall. A run's going to score. Ruckert will give LSU the lead. Trying to get 3 is Braun. The throw to third is high, and Mason Braun in with a triple. His first triple of the season gives LSU a 6-5 lead.
Well, take a look. Braun hits this ball well. You see Teal playing a step the other way, has no chance. Parker sees it go over his head off the wall. A good throw would have had him here, but the throw goes high, and Braun is in at third.
And now Omar Cerna will bat with a runner at third and a run home here in the 6th inning. Charge that run to Jack Gleason. And here comes Justin Parker out. Now you got first base open right now and Cerna up, but you got a good hitter in Derek Curiel up next. State's got Peyton Fowler down at the bullpen, beginning to loosen.
Just 10 1/3 innings from starting pitchers this weekend for State. There'll be a lot of work out of the bullpen this weekend.
Cerna doubled in the second. He struck out his last time up. Lifts that ball into left field and hit well. Back goes Chance at the wall and gone. And Omar Cerna continues his huge weekend. His 3rd home run here in Starkville. And LSU takes an 8-5 lead in the top of the 6th.
This ball goes 354 feet. It wasn't hit deep, but it was hit deep enough, and Cerna has just been absolutely on fire.
Eight for 13 on the weekend with 3 home runs. And after State ties it with 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th, LSU right back. Did the same thing. Milam did the same thing in the 3rd after State had tied it at 3 in the 2nd. LSU took a 2-run lead in the 5th. So the tie games have been short-lived today. And Curiel takes it down low, 2-0. Burns came in after the leadoff walk to Rucker. But then Gleason got the strikeout of Patrick for the first out. And then Burns was able to strike out Tanner Reeves looking, but now a triple and a home run. And now the count's even. Braun tripled on a 1-0 pitch. Cerna homers on the first pitch. And now the count's full.
For the right-handed hitter on deck, I would expect this would be it for Burns if he cannot record the out here of Curiel.
And a slider down and away, and that's ball 4. And the inning stays alive for Cade Arambidi.
And Brian O'Connor will be out of the dugout.
And that will be all for Dane Burns. So Burns gets just 1 out. Got a strikeout, a triple, home run, then a walk. Trying to bounce back after pitching on Friday. And State will go to the bullpen. Down by 3 in the top of the 6th. Peyton Fowler going to come out of the bullpen. Limited action this year. The junior from Gluckstadt, Germantown High School product. Pitched at Meridian Community College. Charlie owning a big situation right here. Trying to keep it where it is in the 6th.
The 5th appearance on the season for Fowler. He's gone 4 1/3. Fowler made his debut in a ball game against Grambling. Came in through an inning in that game. And then really kind of burst on the scene with an inning and a 1/3 against Georgia, then with an inning against Tennessee. Had 5 strikeouts across those 2 1/3. Hasn't pitched in a while though. Last time out about 2 weeks ago in a ball game against Samford. Went an inning in that one, didn't allow a run, gave up 1 hit. So in limited action, Fowler's shown strikeout stuff. 7 strikeouts in 4 1/3. 2 down, he'll inherit a runner in first base.
Down and away to Cade Arambidi.
See the damage coming with 2 outs, triple and a home run.
Boy, you look back at that triple. Braun hit off the wall. State kind of had him dead to rights at third base. Throw came in high. That would have ended the inning with just 1 run scored. And now 2-1. Cerner runs 1 out of here, and that changes everything. Way outside, and now 3-1. Throw to first, and that went off of Curiel. Beavis doesn't see it, but it was under Derek Curiel's leg over at first base. LSU has 8 runs on 7 hits. State has just 5 runs on just 3 hits today. No one's in there. And poked in the air out into right field, and over to get it is Parker. And he will make the catch, and that will end the inning. So Arambidi goes the other way, but LSU takes the lead back. And a big swing from Omar Cerna. Half of his home runs have come this weekend. LSU leads 8-5. They'll start with Mississippi here at Dudy Noble Field. Got a big crowd this weekend And the games have gone back and forth throughout the weekend. And here's Kevin Milewski to lead things off.
Yeah, they'll get it going in the bottom of the 6th, and it's a slider inside.
Did you bring us some food? Thank you, man. Golly. 5 ties, 8 lead changes. Your good friend Brian Haydad.
The commander in beef.
I don't know if I can trust what you just put before us. Are you trying to poison us here? 2-0. Now, if it's one thing I know about Brian, he can cook. Two and one to Milewski. Kevin Milewski struck out swinging his last time up, had a fly out to right field in the second. And outside, ball 4.
Well, State has made a living today with the leadoff man getting aboard. That's the 6th time here today. Fry was hit by a pitch in the first. Teal walked in the second. Davis reached on a catcher's interference. Teal reached on a hit by a pitch, then a walk in the 5th. So 6 straight times State's gotten the leadoff man aboard, all without a hit.
Bryce Chance got a soft line drive out to the shortstop, Milam, his last time up with a runner at second. Dothie got 3 ground outs in the 5th inning. He's got limited action this year. And man, the bullpens right now, you got Peyton Fowler from Mississippi State and Dax Dothie. Neither guy have an extensive resume in SEC pitching, in SEC play. Another toss to first, and back in standing over there is Milewski.
A lot of baseball, of course, left to play. We're just in the bottom of the 6th, but feels like a big spot in this ball game. And Jay Johnson apparently agrees as he's going to take a jog out to the mound and point down to the bullpen.
Yeah, after he got the 2-0 on Bryce Chance, Jay Johnson was like, all right, we're going to make a move to the pen, and LSU will bring in their 4th pitcher of the day. Sheeran's been down there, and it's going to be Sheeran. Devin Sheeran, who threw 2 innings in the game on Friday and 43 pitches, back in here in game 3. 8-5 LSU leading. Now LSU going to go to the bullpen for Devin Sheeran. And as we said, a day rest. He pitched 2 innings in the game on Friday. So Charlie going to go with a little bit more experience out of the pen now.
Yeah, getting that spot of the ball game. We talk so much about the big times in games don't always come in the ninth. Sometimes they find themselves in the bottom of the 6th. And with State with the leadoff man aboard and a 2-0 count on Chance, the 9-hole hitter, LSU going to Devin Sheeran. He's pitched a lot in SEC action this season. This will be the first time, though, that he's been called upon twice in a weekend. Of course, starting pitching for neither team getting them very deep this weekend, so there'll be a lot of guys called on to pitch twice this weekend.
Well, Bryce Chance will inherit a 2-0 count when he steps in. So an infield single for Chance in the second inning. He scored on the 3-run home run from Ace Reese back in the second. LSU with a 3 spot in the top of the 6th inning. They have taken the lead back at 8-5. Leadoff walk in the inning. Now 2-0 the count to Bryce Chance. And a fastball at 96 poured in there for strike 1.
I'm a big fan of mid-count pitching changes. When you see something going wrong, go ahead and make the change. Jay Johnson's done.
Almost a little crossfire fastball that time. Count 2-2. And after what Jay Johnson saw last night with LSU in the 7th inning kind of melting down a little bit, Flog and Benj falling behind. Went with Williams. They all fell behind in the count and foul ball back. And you can kind of get that feeling again where you get the leadoff man aboard, the count now 2-0, and Jay Johnson just jogging out to the mound and trying to quickly end any kind of momentum before this crowd can get into it. Lined in the left, and that's a base hit. So left it up on the 2-2. And Bryce Chance pulls one into left field for the solid single, and the first 2 aboard here in the 6th.
Interesting pitching choice here. The pitch that's been giving Chance trouble has been the high fastball. That time went slider, and Chance puts it out into left field. Turns it over to the top of the order, Garrick Fry.
And just outside, hey, we got Garrick Fry 0 for 2 today, hit by a pitch in the 1st inning. Got a fly out to deep right field in the 2nd. He struck out swinging in the 4th. Popped it foul and out of play. Walk and a single to start the inning. Chopped, knocked down, and only 1 play. And throw it away at first. 1 run is scored. Here comes the 2nd. And Garrick Fry is at second base, and the first baseman, Braun, is still down. A collision at first base. Sheeran able to knock it down and then threw it wildly. And now all the eyes turn to the first baseman, Braun.
Well, that's one of the plays that the hope in adding the green bag at first base would take away some of the collisions at the bag there. Braun just having to come back into the runner, trying to make the catch. Looks like he's going to be okay.
And that will be a throwing error on the LSU pitcher, Sheeran. And you saw that right arm of Braun was brought into the running lane that time. And that's one of those that Sheeran, you knock it down, and it was almost like a little panic job right there. You had plenty of time.
Had to corral it as the ball on the mound, kind of moving away from him, goes and gets it, but then just couldn't make the clean play.
And Charlie, you and I talked about it, about down the first base line. If you have the tough angle, you can get down the line and people can run for a while. And Bryce Chance able to score all the way from first base, and now it's a one-run game and a runner at second. So the tying run in scoring position, and Ace Reese will come to the plate in the bottom of the sixth. The second LSU error of the day. The first one didn't hurt. It was a catcher's interference, followed by a double play ball. And here's Ace Reese, who walked and scored back in the fifth. Way inside. And now the runner moves to third on the wild pitch.
Well, now you see a lot of activity down in the bullpen for LSU as they will get guys scrambling, picking up balls. Starting to get loose down there. A right-hander now up and tossing, and another appears to be on the way.
And now the crowd getting into it a little bit. Zach Cowan's got a ball loosening up down there. Infield staying back. And now the count 1-1 to Ace Reese. Still nobody out.
And with a change up there to Reese, knew the crowd was amped up, knew Reese was going to be looking for a pitch to hit. Took a little bit off.
Cross fires that fastball down and in, and now the count 2-1.
Yeah, right now struggling, pulling through the fastballs.
And now double barrel action down in the bullpen for LSU. Oh, he swung at a pitch down, and now the count 2-2.
Spot here for Reese. If he can put one in play to the middle of the infield, anything to the outfield, give State a chance to tie it.
And knocked down by Aaron Beatty, the catcher. So now 3-2 the count. Ripped into right center field, and that's in there for a hit. State will score the tying run. Reese is on his way to second. It's an RBI double for Ace Reese, and we're tied at 8.
Reese was going to hold up at first base, but Patrick in right field lost his footing, and Reese, paying close attention, takes second base. Got a change up, and he squared it up. Jay Johnson is back out of the mound, or back out to the mound.
Well, we'll see how they score that. But Ace Reese on a 3-2 pitch So Sheeran comes in, the errant throw to first on the comebacker, and now Ace Reese has tied the game at 8. And LSU will go back to the bullpen. Tied at 8 here in the 6th. Well, tied at 8 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Crowd getting into it right now. LSU back to the bullpen. State's got the go-ahead run at second base. They give Ace Reese credit with a double. And Jaden Newts will come out of the pen.
9th appearance on the season for Newt. He actually pitched 20 times for LSU last season. 5 of those were in starting roles. He's had limited activity in SEC play this year. Actually pitched, though, against Mississippi State a year ago in a ball game down Baton Rouge. Went 2 clean innings in that one with a couple of strikeouts.
Well, they got into it last night in the 7th inning, and today is the 6th. Taking everybody a little bit of time to get woken up today. Operating on some short rest last night. And these teams are going back and forth today. State has never led in this game. LSU led 3-0. State tied it at 3. LSU led 5-3. State tied it at 5. LSU went ahead 8-5. Now State's tied it at 8. And here's Noah Sullivan. Doubled his last time up. So back and forth we go this weekend. And on the outside corner to even the count at 1. And just off the outside corner, and it's 2-1. Oh, he couldn't check. Oh, he did check the swing. Alex Ransom, the first base umpire, said no. Jay Johnson out of the dugout. Let's see. No, he didn't. "3-1. Smoke past Milam and into left field. And they're going to wave the runner. No, they're going to stop him. Kevin McMullen gave the windmill for a second as a ho-ho. There's still nobody out. Let's wait. And Noah Sullivan pounds one into left field. And now runners at the corners and nobody out.
This is a ball. Reese running from second base had to pause to see if it would get past Milam. See, he was actually headed back to the bag at second before he sees it through. And that's what, over at third base.
And now Blake Beavis will bat with runners at the corners. And if you're Reese right there, you got to hold up. That ball had a lot of top spin to it. The last thing you want to do is a ball that keeps its plane and it's a line drive out and get caught off the bag at second. Grounded at the third baseman. Could be two to second for one. Around the horn, not in time. The run comes in to score, though. Ace Reese crosses the plate, and Mississippi State has its first lead of the day.
Well, looking for two would give up the run, but Beavis hustling down the line just beats it out. So credit him with an RBI.
4 runs home in the inning after LSU scored 3 runs at the top half of the inning. And here's Parker. There's a shot into right field. And that ball's going to get to the gap, and it hops over the wall for a ground rule double. And that may cause State a run there.
Yeah, very likely, as Beavis has to hold up at third base.
It hit off the warning track and skipped over the wall. That split the LSU outfielders. And, of course, Beavis with 2 outs can run. Well, the 1 out, and they knew it was going to get in the gap. And that ball hit very hard by Jacob Parker. A ground rule double to right center field. And Reed Stallman has a bat for the second consecutive day in a pinch hit role.
So Stallman will pitch hit for Wires. And Jay Johnson's going to come out of the mound. And if history is a guide, point down to the bullpen for a new pitcher, and he will.
Dauthy started the inning. Sheeran then came in. Newt came out of the pen, and LSU will bring Theophilus in as the 4th LSU pitcher of the 6th inning. Zion Theophilus, the freshman from Cincinnati, Ohio, will come in. Mississippi State with a lead. And Reed Stallman will be the batter. Limited action this year. You see the 12 appearances, but only 10 innings of work.
Well, this crowd has some energy right now.
Theophilus threw a third of an inning in the game on Tuesday against New Orleans. Got an out, he walked one. No runs, no hits. He threw 1 inning last weekend against LSU. Excuse me, against Texas A&M. Down at LSU. Gave up no runs on 1 hit. Had a strikeout in that outing. And that was last Saturday against the Aggies. Runners at second and third and 1 out in the inning, and the infield comes in. The fastball is high.
9 walks for Theophilus in the 10 innings he has pitched.
Came inside and jammed him a little bit, fouled it back.
Infield in with 1 out. Stallman, a guy, though, who tends to hit the ball hard. You bring the infield in, you really close down those angles. A hard hit ball, unless it's hit right at somebody's, a much better chance to get through.
Beavis runs at third. Ground ball left side, right at the shortstop. The throw to the plate, and he's dead to rights. And so the runner at second, and Parker had to hold up. So Beavis erased 6-2 on the putout. And so LSU bringing the infield in cuts the lead runner. Stallman reaches first on the fielder's choice, and now first and second with 2 outs, and Aiden Teal will be the batter. So Theophilus comes in and gets exactly what he was looking for, and a ground ball hit right at Stephen Milam, the shortstop.
And if there's anybody with quick reflexes and a chance to make that play cleanly, it is Milam. One of the best in the country defensively.
And on the outside corner, strike 1. Aiden Teal today, 0 for 1 officially, grounded out to the second baseman his last time up. He's been hit by a pitch and walked today. Well, he chased the pitch up, and now the count's 0-2. So first and second now with 2 outs. 4-run inning for State. Trying to pad the lead here in the 6th.
Parker, State looked to be going down angle there. That's a play you would have expected Parker to be running as well.
And it kicks off the catcher, and you start talking about down angle, Charlie. If you got Parker at third, of course, everything changes the way you pitch to batters.
Yeah, that's right.
Baseball.
Of course, baseball is sequential. You can't always backfill it.
Off of Aaron Beatty and kicks off the first base side.
Tap going into the dugout there.
2-2 the count to Teal. And it hit him.
Yeah, Jay Johnson doesn't think so. He's going to come out and have a discussion about it.
Or he's asking, did he throw a knee out there? Well, Theophilus didn't like it. And I think
have a review.
Yeah, I think they're going to challenge and review this.
LSU is challenging the hit by pitch. This play is under review.
So LSU challenging the hit batsman. And of course, hey, if it goes the other way and Teal was kind of leaning into it, let's take a look. You get a strike 3 called in here. Well, the whole question is going to be is what is a guy sitting on the couch in Birmingham having to say? Here we go.
After review, there was a hit by pitch with no intent. LSU has no challenges remaining.
And so you hear right there Jason Bradley with no intent. If there is intent, then that's going to be strike three. And so what the replay official in Birmingham is saying is that was pretty much the natural lower body movement of Aiden Teal. And now Kevin Milewski will bat with the bases loaded. He led off the inning with a walk. 10th man to bat in the inning. And he starts him off with a slider. Walked and scored here in the 6th. Bulldogs have 4 on the board here at the bottom of the 6th inning. And he got under. Out into center field. Curiel waits for it to come down, and that will end the inning. But the Bulldogs get 4, and we move to the 7th. Mississippi State with its first lead of the day.
The real fun just getting started.
Run straight for the breakaway.
The celebration is on.
The College World Series less than 2 months away, and here's Ben Davis on the mound for Mississippi State. Bulldogs go to the bullpen. And with a lead for the first time today, go to the right-hander. Davis pitched 2 2/3 and threw 47 pitches on Friday. Toronto, you saw that bother Devin Sheeran.
You know, this is not the first time this year. In fact, the 4th time that Davis has been called upon twice in a weekend in SEC play. A couple of outings against Ole Miss, a couple against Georgia, a couple against South Carolina.
Well, you look, leadoff guys, Mississippi State's got the leadoff man on in every inning today. 6 out of the 8 innings last night. LSU's got leadoff man on in 4 innings today, and have scored 3 of those times. And here is Stephen Milam. Line drive home run to right field. That was back in the 3rd inning. Got a fly out to center field his last time up. Davis came into the game in the 7th inning on Friday. retired 8 in a row before giving up a single. Pop back.
You know, Bart, of all those guys reaching base today to lead off an inning, one is with a hit. We got walks, we got hit batsmen, we got catcher's interference.
Things that drive the coaches crazy. The 1-2. Breaking ball popped up. Foul territory over by the LSU dugout, and it's going to land in the dugout. Milewski ran out of room over there. States won the first 2 this weekend, 10-8 on Friday, then 9-8 last night. And that ball hit into right field, shallow right field. Here comes Parker. And he's there to make the catch. Bulldogs had the shift on. Ace Reese was out in shallow right field. And it's almost like that rover in softball used to have, you know. And the leadoff man retired in the 7th.
Ryder Woodson, yeah, checked in the game at shortstop. We saw Stallman pinch hit for Wires back in the bottom of the 6th inning. So Woodson, who did not draw the start today, back out at shortstop.
So Woodson officially replaces Stallman in the lineup. And will bat in the 6th spot in the order. There's Yaman, and the count now quickly 0-2. State will have 9-1-2 due up in the bottom of the 7th inning. Here's the 0-2. And off the end of the bat. Swing and a miss.
And that is a 97-mile-an-hour fastball with some run to it. When Davis is on, he's able to work it in, work it out. Fastball's got a little arm side run to it.
And now 2 outs in the inning, and Jack Ruckert will bat. And ripped that ball foul down to the LSU bullpen. The thing about Davis, it's almost like on that day of rest, when he comes back, he has more movement. The fastball's a tick or two slower. The 0-1. Trying to cut that one in there. The count now 1-1 to Jack Ruckert, who walked and scored back in the 6th inning. And smokes that ball, but right at the second baseman, Garrick Fry, and that will end the inning. Well, stretch time in the middle of the 7th, and Mississippi State will bat with a 1-run lead. 9-8 Mississippi State lead. State has scored 6 runs in his last 2 at bats. Down 8-5 going to the bottom of the 6th inning. Nine runs on 7 hits for the Bulldogs, 8 runs on 7 hits for LSU. And LSU well, the 2017 Men's College World Series, who eliminated Mississippi State. And first pitch swinging, there's Milam, spins, throws, got him. Oh my,
what a play.
Bryce Chance going up the middle. And Milam making that great play. 6-3 on the put-up. And so here's how trivia works. Our famed producer, Kyle Apat, always comes up with trivia questions, trying to stump me and Charlie. Missed inside. And that one though, State did not make the College World Series in 2017. And they were eliminated by LSU down in Baton Rouge in a super regional.
After winning the regional down in Hattiesburg.
That's right.
Josh Lovelady was big that weekend. State had to pitch its way out of the losers bracket down in Hattiesburg.
2-0. That was that year all the pitchers were hurt. Spencer Price and Riley Self had to throw just about every game.
The ESPN app was being widely used on a Sunday morning at 10 a.m. in churches across the state.
3-0 when he misses outside. So Mississippi State did not make the College World Series that year. LSU wins in the Baton Rouge Super Regional.
We always remember that year that Brent Rooker had.
Triple Crown season for Brent that year. Fly draws a walk.
So Ace Reese comes to the plate, 2 for 3 on the day. He's got a home run. He has a double. He scored 3 runs. Walked and scored in the 5th. It's the fastball inside.
Line drive into center field and back to make the catch.
This ball was hit very hard by Ace Reese, 108 off the bat. But Curiel in center gets a good jump and didn't have to go that far, makes the catch. Noah Sullivan will hit with 2 down and a runner aboard.
Line drive into center field. Boy, Reese hit it hard. And down to second goes Garrick Fry.
So Fry gets over in the scoring position with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Good job reading the pitch down, takes second base.
And down the right field line, could be trouble by the wall, and it's off the wall. Noah Sullivan with a double, and Garrick Fry will score, and it's 10-8.
Well, Patrick, the right fielder, was coming over, but runs out of room as it hits the brick wall. Pitch, middle of the plate. Sullivan goes the other way with it. He's got a beat on it, and then just off the wall. Now Aaron Beatty is going to take a timeout, go out to the mound. That ball was hit 315 feet. But anything down in that corner is just going to play a little differently. You see that corner there rounded off. And Bart, I'll be honest, I wasn't sure if that ball might sneak out.
I know it. When it got off the bat and down in that area, it's only 305 down the line in that curved area on the Ackerson Plaza. And off the wall, Noah Sullivan gives State a 2-run lead.
And now the conference on the mound. I think we're going to see another pitcher here.
So LSU will go to the bullpen again. And State leads by 2. Yeah, LSU will go back to the bullpen with a runner at second and 2 outs. And Mississippi State with a run in the 7th inning.
And Maverick Rizzi will come out of the bullpen. The right-hander has been used quite a bit this season. This will be his 18th appearance. The ERA at 3.5. He has pitched 18 innings, and he's been used quite a bit in conference play. We saw him twice in the weekend against Kentucky, against Ole Miss, against A&M. Pitched against Vanderbilt, so coming in the spot. Now, when you look at his outings in league play, they tend to be a third of an inning, sometimes stretching out as far as 2. On the season, the thing that has caused him trouble is 15 walks in 18 innings. But comes into an environment right now where the home crowd feeling a lot different late in this ball game than they did early. State's taking a 10-8 lead. They've got a runner down at second base with 2 outs.
Here's Blake Beavis with a runner at second. Way outside.
He just pulls through the fastball that time.
State's got 10 runs on 8 hits today. Swings through the slider. Now the count 1-2.
Got the chase that time on the ball out of the zone. Nice pitch from Rizzi. And now he is ahead the count.
Really knocked down by Aaron Beatty.
That's one of the things we haven't talked about enough this weekend is the job that he has done keeping balls from the backstop.
Yeah, he really's done a good job. It's not easy on those sliders down and away like that. And here's a 2-2. Soft line drive out into left, and it's going to drop. And a run will come in to score. Stephen Milam made the leap for it, just couldn't get to it.
This ball hit 63 off the bat. Milam gave it everything he had trying to get back on it, but just couldn't quite get there. That allows the run to score. As Sullivan was off and running with 2 outs.
And State with 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning. And here's Jacob Parker, who doubled his last time up.
Got a fastball that time and just couldn't handle it.
Yeah, Jay Johnson trying to figure out what button to push next. A runner at first and 2 outs, a pitch. Then lifted in the air, down the left field line, long run, and it's in the corner, and it's a fair ball. Beavis will have to come back to third base, and Jacob Parker has another ground rule double, and the runner will have to stop at third base. The same situation back in the 6th inning. That one to right field, this time down the left field line. And of course, you lose it when it gets to the corner. And Kieram's off that turf out there. And here comes Nate Yeske out. So Beavis has to go back to third base, and now Parker with his 2nd double. And Ryder Woodson is due to the plate for the first time today.
Reagan Rickens starting to throw down in the pen, the right-hander for LSU.
So State trying to add some more here in the bottom of the 7th, and here's Woodson. Fastball at 98 from Rizzi.
That's a good looking fastball. Right at the bottom of the zone. Ground ball out to the second baseman. Ruckert will throw it over.
4-3 on the put out. Woodson retired. Bulldogs add a pair though and lead 11-8 at the end of 7. Well, 11-8, Mississippi State leading as we go to the top of the 8th inning here at Dudy Noble Field in Starkville. I'm Bart Gregory along with Charlie Winfield. State came from behind and won 10-8 in the Friday game. Had to win it in 11 innings and extra innings. Won 9-8 last night. State going for the sweep today, and LSU trying to salvage a game in this 3-game series. Here's William Patrick going to lead things off. LSU's got 8, 9, and 1 due up in the top of the 8th inning, and Ben Davis back to the mound for State. Retired the side in order in the 7th inning on a fly out, a strikeout, and a lineup.
36.
Swings and misses.
State's got a couple of guys throwing down the pulpit. Pitzer is one of them. You would expect it'll be a pretty quick hook for Davis should he run into trouble.
And down and away.
And that, no knock on Davis, just a situation of having pitched a couple of days ago.
And that ball hit well out into left field, but off the end of the bat, it's going to die out there into the glove of Bryce Chance for 1 out in the 8th. And so the leadoff man retired.
Kind of a pinch hitter.
And here's Zach York.
Saw him pinch hit in the ball game on Friday. Back to do it again today.
Fouls it off. Pinch hit in the 4th inning on Friday and had a fly out to center field. They couldn't check the swing on the slider down, and now the count's 0-2. And roll to the right side. In to get it, Garrick Fry. And now 2 outs in the inning. And Charlie, isn't that what you want to do if you're Ben Davis? You just want to get early action.
He's got the fly out from Patrick on a 1-2 pitch. Gets the ground out from York on an 0-2 pitch.
And now Mason Braun will bat. Drove in a run with an RBI triple his last time up. He's 3 for 4 today.
Put a ball really well off the wall in right center field.
and hits that ball well out into right field. Back goes Parker at the wall. It's almost the same spot. Parker to get it, though, and get it back to the infield in a hurry. Braun's got his 4th hit today. It's a single to right field. And that time, Parker playing back deeper, kind of a doubles-type defense, able to get to it before it got to the wall.
Well, that one hits just short of the track, so it doesn't get that big hop that takes it to the wall. Another foot, and that ball skipping a little bit into the wall and making Parker turn around and get it. If you're LSU and looking to tighten this thing up, no better guy to have at the plate than Cerna. He has been on fire all weekend. Hit by a pitch, scored in the first, doubled in the second. Struck out in the 4th, homered, a 2-run home run in the 6th.
Swing and a miss, and that will end the inning. So Ben Davis strikes out Cerna. Then we go to the bottom of the 8th, and Mississippi State leading 11-8. Eleven to 8, Mississippi State leading as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning here in Starkville. Bulldogs trying to hold on and sweep LSU at home here on Super Bulldog weekend. State looking for back-to-back sweeps after sweeping South Carolina last weekend. Well, it's been a volatile season for State in league play, Charlie. After losing 2 out of 3 at Arkansas, you came back home and swept Vanderbilt, and then swept Ole Miss at Ole Miss, but then swept in back-to-back home series against Georgia and Tennessee. And then a sweep of Carolina last week, and now up 11 to 8, and having won the first 2 in Starkville this weekend against LSU. Trying to send the Tigers their 9th consecutive SEC loss.
A few defensive changes here in the inning. York, who pinch hit, has gone to first. Patrick will play over at third, and Braun has moved out to right field.
Just off the outside corner. And that one catches the inner edge, and the count 2-1. Bulldogs trying to get the leadoff man on again. And that ball hit well into right field. Back goes Braun, and that ball is gone. Aiden Teal with a solo shot, his 5th home run of the season. And State leads 12-8 in the 8th.
Teal hits this ball 101 off the bat, 389. Carries it out to right center. Got a fastball and didn't miss it. Boy, that's just a job of getting yourself into a hitter's count at 3-1, hunting his pitch, finding it, and timing it up.
And here's Kevin Milewski. Leadoff home run here in the 8th inning. Aiden Teal gives one a ride. To the third baseman, and William Patrick will make the throw and throw it away. They just moved from right field to third base, and that's the first throw he's had to make. And Milewski going to reach on the error by the LSU third baseman.
Had plenty of time, but as you say, moving into the infield, just first time he's having to make the throw, gets away from him. It hits the net, so it doesn't get any kick. And Milewski holds it first as Bryce Chance will come to the plate.
Got a new first baseman, too. That's the first play that Zach York's got to try to pull out of the dirt over at first. So new guys at the corner of the infield for LSU here in the 8th inning. Here's Bryce Chance, takes the pitch low.
Patrick was expecting bunt. It moved in on the grass. Chance showed it, but pulls it back, takes it. You wonder here, State, 4-run lead. The top of the order due up. Do they look to sacrifice here and move Milewski into scoring position?
Lays it down and picked up and thrown. Short hopped again, and this time picked out of the dirt by Zach York over there. Milewski moves to second. And William Patrick, who had just thrown one low at first, kind of shot puts that one over there. He was thinking about it.
Well, that's what happens when you start thinking about it. Tend to hold on to it a little bit longer.
And now Garrick Fry will bat with a runner at second. And one out in the inning. And now 2-0. 1-1. 1-1 to count. Caught the knees. Garrick Fry walked his last time up, reached on an error back in the 6th inning on a ground ball back to the pitcher. Well, how big was that play? Way outside. Hit a ground ball to the pitcher, and Sheeran knocked it down with runners at first and second. And then Sheeran threw it down the right field line, and 2 runs scored. Pulls that ball foul. Into left field, and that's another hit. And that will get to the wall. Milewski will score. And Garrick Fry has an RBI double, and Mississippi State adds another run.
State had 3 runs through the 4th inning. But since then, in the past 4 frames, they've added on 10 more. Jay Johnson, who was low on pitching, will trek back out to the mound and look for answers.
And so the Tigers will go back to the bullpen. Mississippi State has scored 8 unanswered after LSU took an 8-5 lead in the top of the 6th. So Reagan Ricken will come in. We'll step away. Reagan Ricken will come in. And the freshman right-hander
Will be his 12th appearance on the season. 3rd time that he has appeared in a game against a Southeastern Conference opponent. When an inning and 2/3 against Vanderbilt back in mid-March. And then last weekend had an appearance against Texas A&M. Faced a couple of hitters, gave up a couple of hits, a couple of runs they were earned. It was the 2-run home run after a walk that did him in. Didn't record it out that time out, but over the course of the year, ERA for a freshman in this league, 4.4, not bad. Struggling to find control, and he comes into a spot here where he's going to face a home crowd that is into this ball game, as Mississippi State has put runs on the board the past 4 frames. 2 in the 5th, 4 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th, and 2 more so far here in the 8th. The State's got a man in Garrett Fry standing down at second base with just 1 out in the inning. And Ace Reese, who's homered and doubled here today, has driven in 4 runs, has a chance to add to it.
Reagan Ricken, the 8th LSU pitcher today. And a strike caught at the bottom of the zone. But when you go into a weekend series, you got to figure out a way to somehow piece together at least 27 innings or 27 outs. 27 innings, excuse me. And then when you add 2 innings to it on Friday, the fly ball lifted into the outfield. Fry appearing to tag at second, and he will bluff as the catch is made by Curiel. And so you're trying to navigate now 29 innings worth of pitching, and you're doing it without the guy who was supposed to be your Friday starter, Kason Evans.
Yeah, late scratch after he got to the ballpark. In fact, lineups had already been issued before he was scratched from the start. Of course, both these teams have had to scrape things together out of the bullpen this weekend. State on the weekend getting this 10 1/3 innings combined work out of its starters.
And here's Noah Sullivan, who has 3 hits today. And off the handle, out to Milam at short, and that will end the inning. The Bulldogs add a pair, though, in the bottom of the 8th inning and take a 5-run lead to the top of the 9th. Well, what a weekend for Ace Reese. Pulling the home run to right field today. His third home run in as many days. He homered on Friday, then yesterday, and then today. Got the big RBI double there. Scored 3 runs today, 2 for 5 at the plate, 4 RBIs. That home run to tie it in the 2nd inning. And then that double in the 6th inning, Charlie. A couple of big hits today for Ace.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bulldogs needed him to heat up in league play. He's done it this weekend. And now State just 3 outs away.
And here is Maddox Webb. 3rd consecutive day for Maddox Webb. He threw 34 pitches on Friday, threw just 8 last night, and got a couple of outs in the game last night. And he faces Derek Curiel to lead off the 9th. Curiel, Arambidi, and then Stephen Milam. Meat of the order for LSU. And the first pitch swinging, a fly ball lifted out into right field. Ranging back, Parker with room on the warning track hauls it in, and a big out to get, and that's out number 1.
Anytime a ball's hit in the air to right field here, if you're a pitcher, you have to hold your breath a minute. But the ballpark holds it. Now Aaron Beatty will hit.
Well, Aaron Beatty homered his first time up, 3-run home run just inside the foul pole down the right field line. Walked and scored in the 3rd inning. But since then, a ground out to the 3rd baseman and a fly out to right field. And looks at strike 1.
State does have Pitzer throwing in the bullpen. Not a high heat situation, just tossing down there in case he is needed. Snow cones that one behind the plate.
Yeah, a little trick action right there. Framed it up, popped it up, caught it, threw it back. Like a Savannah banana right there. Trick play. There's a 1-2. Two-two. Tried to pull it and fouled it off. Texas has won today over Vanderbilt to win 2 of 3 in Nashville. So Texas will stay a half game ahead of State no matter what happens today. Or at least a half game ahead. Here's a 2-2. Now 3-2. A&M has beaten Florida today 5-1 down in Gainesville, and so Texas A&M has won the first 2 this weekend. They'll improve to 14-6. Three-two. Trying to throw the breaking ball, and he left it low. And a 1-out walk to Cade Arambidi. And now Stephen Milam will bat with a runner at first and 1 out. Georgia's got a lead in the top of the 9th inning in Oxford, trying to take 2 out of 3 from Ole Miss to stay up top the SEC. Boy, asking you a lot of Maddox Webb.
Yeah, 3 days in a row. 34 pitches, 8 pitches yesterday. And it's not just how many you throw on the mound, it's how many times you get heated up and ready to go.
And now ball 2. We got a fly out from Curiel to start the inning on the first pitch. And to be honest with you, it's one of those situations that Curiel had known now what he knew then, or known then what he knows now. One or the other, you know what I'm saying. I don't know if he's up there hunting the first pitch, because Maddox Webb has kind of struggled with the control.
Had the count go full to Aaron Beatty before walking him on a 3-2 pitch. Was ahead in that count, 1-2. It was a good job by Aaron Beatty. Fouling off a pitch. And working the walk after being down in the count.
And now 3-0. And there's a strike. Runner at first, 3-1. Went down to get it and popped it out in the shallow center field. Teal calling for it, and Aiden Teal will haul it in for the second out.
Yeah, Whitson was going out, Fry was going out, Parker was coming in, but Teal takes charge in center field, and now they're 2 down.
And now LSU down to its final out. And they're going to pinch hit Daniel Harden. Came in the game last night to pinch hit late for Yaman. In a very interesting move in the 9th inning, and he popped out in the foul territory after Yaman had the 3-run home run yesterday. So he's pinch hitting for Yaman today. He waves through the fastball.
And that's the best fastball that we have seen out of Maddox Webb so far. That one had some life to it.
A 1-out walk to Aaron Beatty. He's over at first. They trying to close it out and sweep LSU at home. And now 1-1.
Hard refusing to back off the plate that time as he took the pitch inside.
And now LSU down to his final strike. State trying to get to 13-8 with 3 weeks remaining in the regular season. 1-2. Grounded, first baseman. Underhand toss, and that will do it. And Mississippi State sweeps LSU at home this weekend on Super Bulldog Weekend, and the first sweep against LSU since 1985.
Well, what a job by State pitching out of the bullpen, and what a job by Mississippi State being resilient at the plate. They saw themselves down in every game this weekend, came back in all of them to get the sweep.
So for Charlie Winfield, I'm Bart Gregory saying so long from Starkville, where Mississippi State wins it over LSU and sweeps the series. To watch this entire game on replay as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchESPN.com or download the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.